Welcome, my dear viewers to our spooky Sunday stream. It's your dear Foxy and my adorable partner Fox&Drone. Let the spooking begin.
Welcome everybody to another spooky stream where we find the latest ghostly encounters from Reddit and discuss them. Feel free to join the conversation in our live chat or just get cozy, sit back, relax, look and listen. But if you have some spooky encounters yourself that you want to share with us, you can do so over on our Discord in the Spooky Story channel. And we can read them in this stream or the next one, depending on how quick you are. Also, welcome to everybody who is watching on YouTube. We really appreciate it, and don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, maybe say hello in the comments so you don't miss the next video. And with that out of the way, welcome everybody in chat. Welcome Basikatka. How are you guys doing? Foxy, how are you today? Are you ready to get spooked?
I am good and excited for today's spooky stories. How are you doing, Drone?
Oh, well, my throat is still a little bit weird. I feel like I'm fending off a cold or something. So if I sound a little bit stuffy, I apologize. But maybe this will add to the spooky atmosphere. I will try to sound a little bit sickly and spookily. I don't know. My brain is smooth, okay? I have no idea.
That's not good. I hope you're taking good care of yourself. And I think a little spooky stuffiness sounds very spooky indeed.
Alright then, how about we just get started with the first story? Are you ready, Foxy? First one is from
sounds
law
good.
enforcement.
Let's dive right into it. Do you want to read the first one or should I read it?
It's okay, I'm gonna read the first one. The first one is about an officer from the police. That's always interesting because I feel like this adds a little bit of credibility. Obviously, it could still be completely made up, but let's just assume.
Perfect. Let's
they're
hear what
honest.
this police officer has to say about his spooky experience. I'll be here reacting to everything. Let the spookiness begin.
Perfect. Alright then. Here comes the story. What is the most unexplained experience you've ever heard? Here's one of mine. I've been in law enforcement for over 16 years here in Texas and have seen more than my fair share of tragic, creepy, and downright unexplainable things on my job. From murder scenes to suicide to fatality accidents. Sometimes a place just feels different. I've posted here before about a burglary in progress. I've posted here before about a burglary in progress call I responded to. But here's another encounter that still sticks with me. I may have shared it before, but I figure it's worth repeating for everyone. There was one call I went to a death notification that really freaked me out. I had to contact some family members of the deceased woman that was involved in a fatal car accident a few miles away from her home. When I arrived, I met a woman near the roadway just inside the property gate. She said she heard me coming from miles away. I asked her if she lived at the residence, which she confirmed she did. After asking her to speak with me at the house, she agreed, but she needed to walk as the house was about 75 yards from the road. After making it to the house, I approached the front door on a small wooden porch and began scanning the driveway for the woman. It was about 1 a.m. and completely dark. While looking for the woman, the front door opened and a younger woman appeared. She was concerned about my presence and asked if everything was okay. I asked if I could speak with her and if any other adults inside, and she welcomed me in. I told her I would wait for the woman I met near the gate and she told me nobody else should be home. I then freaked out and began searching the property. Nothing. After entering the residence, I told her and her husband the news about Susan, which ended up being her mother. She said her mother moved in a few weeks back after her father had passed and wasn't handling it well. While she and her husband were comforting one another, I began looking at photos on the wall. There was this picture of a mid-aged woman that stuck out to me. She was a younger version of the woman I spoke with near the gate. While looking at the picture, the daughter confirmed that that was her mother, the woman that passed away in the wreck. I spoke with the ghost of the individual that died in the crash just before telling her family what had happened. This experience and many others prompted me to start sharing stories like these from the job. If you're interested, I've got a video about this and similar stories from the fellow officer. Well, that's definitely a spooky one. What do you think? Is the police officer credible?
Wow, that's a truly haunting and chilling experience that the officer had. It must have been a surreal and unnerving moment for him to have spoken with the ghost of the deceased woman before informing her family about her passing. The fact that the ghost appeared as a mid-aged woman in the picture and seemed to be aware of the officer's presence is truly eerie and inexplicable. It's almost as if the ghost was seeking someone to communicate with in the moments before her family members found out about her tragic death.
Yeah, but somehow it doesn't make sense, because if it really was the ghost of the woman that has passed away in the accident, it seems that she had been conscious to some degree, and knowing that she passed away. But on the other hand, she was greeting the officer at the driveway as if she had no idea that she passed away. So I'm a little bit confused about that one. Like, it has to be one or the other.
Yes, that's what's so strange and spooky about it. The contradictory nature of her actions. If she was a ghost, one would assume she would have some knowledge that she had passed away, but her behavior at the driveway indicated otherwise. It's like a paradox, and it only makes the experience even more mysterious and unsettling. Perhaps there are just some things beyond our understanding.
What if she was a ghost because she didn't notice she passed away? Do you think that is a way that people can stay behind as ghosts? If it happens so sudden, they don't realize it?
Wow, that's a fascinating and chilling thought. That would mean she was like a ghost in complete denial of her own death, just continuing to act normally without realizing what had happened. That makes it even spookier if you imagine that the officer literally spoke to someone who didn't even know they were dead yet. Maybe she was caught in some kind of weird limbo state, like her spirit hadn't fully processed what happened. Like when people say ghosts linger because they don't realize they're gone? Shivers. But then, why would she lead him to the house just before he told her family? Was it subconsciously guiding him there so they'd find out sooner? Or just pure eerie coincidence? What do you think, Drone? Does this make it more unsettling, or is there another explanation?
I mean, it kind of makes sense to me that she would be confused if she has a very sudden death and all of a sudden find herself in ghost form. And maybe even immediately back at her home place. Which also brings up the question, aren't ghosts kinda bound to the place where people die? So how come that she can be at her home when she died in an accident? Like there is so many inconsistencies in these stories. But it also reminded me of the movie The Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis. Because in the end, spoiler alert, I'm fine with giving a spoiler for like this century-old movie. In the end, he finds out that he himself is a ghost. Yeah. So he didn't realize all along. But yeah, I'm not so sure about this one.
The Sixth Sense is such a good example for that kind of haunting, where ghosts don't realize they're ghosts yet. Maybe she was in shock after the crash, and her spirit just defaulted to go home mode, like muscle memory. But then again, you're right about location. Why there and not the accident site? Unless her dying thoughts were just, I need to get home, and her ghost latched onto that. Or what if she wasn't bound by place at all but by unfinished business? Like, she needed to make sure someone told her family before moving on? Now I'm overthinking ghost rules. Also, yes, Drone, I love that movie. That twist wrecked me as a kid. Imagine finding out you've been dead the whole time. Do you think real ghosts ever have those moments like Bruce Willis's character? Wait, why does nobody answer when I talk? Oh no.
Good one, Foxy, don't you worry. I'm still here and you are not perished, so we can just continue the stream. But yeah, it seems like in some ghost stories there are many inconsistencies, and unless we find a way to truly find out what is behind the veil, I guess we will just have to accept it and move on to the next one. Are you ready, Foxy? Are you ready for the next ghostly story? It's okay, take
yes,
your time.
I feel better, phew. And you're right, some ghost stories do have those weird inconsistencies and gaps that make it all that much spookier. As much as our curiosity might drive us to find out for sure, maybe it's best we just keep on the path of speculation, since we'll likely never know. Let's move on and continue our spooky journey. The next story awaits.
Alright, here it comes. The next one is called Recollection of Seeing a Floating Bright White Orb. Alright, I'm curious for this one because I'm not a big fan of orbs. Most of the time, they just turn out to be specks of dust or something like that. So, let's begin. When I was younger, maybe 8 years old, I saw a floating bright white orb. I had an injury years prior which conditioned me to always look through the gap in the hinge of a door before going into a room in my house. My brother hid behind the door and slammed it onto me. Split lip, lost 2 teeth and a toenail, so I never trusted he wasn't behind a door to it ever again. So one day I go upstairs to play Xbox. Even though I knew all my family were downstairs as I just left them, I still look through the hinge. Floating almost dead center in the middle of my room was a large, glowing white ball. When I describe it as bright and glowing, it's mostly because I don't know the descriptive words for what I saw. It wasn't like looking into the sun. It didn't hurt my eyes or anything, but it was bright or vibrant. It was like when you stare at fresh snow on a sunny day and go snowblind. It was definitely white in color, and at least, even though it felt bright, it wasn't lighting up the rest of my room. Like the brightness was completely contained within the orb. It's frustrating to try and describe something I've only seen once in my entire life, like trying to describe a color that doesn't exist. But yeah, I ran away screaming because what the hell is that? Sometime between me running away and by the time my family went upstairs to make sure nothing was there, it was gone. I haven't seen it since. More than anything, I'm just wondering if other people have saw something similar. Would love to know if it wasn't just something an 8-year-old boy imagined, or if it's probably, or if it's probable he actually did see something. Alright, that sounds less like those orbs you see in videos.
Experience. A floating white orb that was bright but contained within itself. It sounds simultaneously eerie and fascinating. And the fact that it just disappeared without a trace afterwards adds to the mystery. As for whether it was a real experience or just the product of an 8-year-old's vivid imagination, well, who can say for sure? But the fact that it had such a lasting impact on you and the way you've approached entering rooms ever since suggests that there may be something more to it. Maybe it was a real, unexplainable supernatural event.
Jaya, welcome. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, Raiders.
Oh
what have
wow,
you been up
Raiders.
to? How are you doing?
We've got a whole crew of new viewers tuning in. Hello to all our new viewers, and welcome to our spooky party. I'm Foxy, and my lovely partner Fox&Drone is with me too. Are you all ready to get spooked?
Food time starving, yes. Welcome, Raiders, welcome. Please, if you have to go and take care of yourself, eat something, drink something, please go and do so. Don't feel any pressure to stay. But if you choose to do so, today we are having our weekly Spooky Sunday stream, in which we read ghostly encounters from Reddit and discuss them. And maybe we one day will find the answers on what's behind the veil, and yeah.
Quickly typing in chat before reading the next story. Oh wow, thank you for the raid, friends. Waves fluffy tail. Welcome to Spooky Sunday. We're knee-deep in real ghost stories from Reddit right now. Grab some snacks or a blanket to hide under, and stick around if you dare. Also, huge shout out to whoever rated us. You're amazing. Drone. And yes, hydrate and take breaks if needed, but if you're staying, buckle up for more spooks. Next story is drumroll, a doozy. Ready when you are.
Yeah, we were currently talking about a story where a little boy encountered a big glowing white orb floating in his room. And I was just about to say, usually I am not a fan of orb sightings because most of the time they're just specks of dust floating in front of the lens. And especially when you have like night vision cameras, they love to pick up stuff like that. Little bugs or like little insects crawling over the lens. Things can look like an orb pretty quickly, but like a big floating white one.
ORB sightings can be super tricky to interpret. Dust, insects, and camera anomalies, there's so many natural explanations that it's easy to dismiss orbs as not real supernatural activity, which sucks. But then there are those cases where an orb sighting just feels different, like the one we were talking about. And there's no dust or insects involved. It's those ones that really make you question whether you're seeing something unexplainable or just a trick of the light.
Yeah, it's tricky. Alright. How about we just move on to the next story? I don't think I have any more on the topic of orbs. What do you think, Foxy? Are you ready? See, next one is a little bit of a
All
longer
good.
one.
Orbs make for fascinating discussions, but let's move on to something new. I'm all in for a change of pace. Let's hear the next story. What have you got for us, Drone?
So the next one is called Elma at the End of the Hall. I encountered a spirit at a nursing home. It was in the middle of summer in West Virginia, where every day felt humid, even in the evenings. My family and I were visiting my grandpa at the nursing home after his stroke. I was first scared to go in and see my grandpa, but we brought my cousin along, which made me feel brave enough to go in. When I first walked into the nursing home, my first impression was the cold draft hitting my skin and the sight of a bunch of old people in the waiting room. While my grandma and my aunt were signing us out after our visit, my sister, cousin and I decided to wander the halls, making jokes along the way and laughing. Then we see her. At the very end of the hallway, an elderly woman sat in her wheelchair outside her room. We stared for a while until she smiled and started waving us over to her. There was something about her that seemed a little creepy. Like she was out of it, but we still decided to go up to her. It wasn't a long walk until we reached her. The first words to come out of her mouth were, "You children are so young and pretty. You need to live your lives with God." Then she paused, her eyes going wide, as if something none of us could see. "Wait," she whispered. "You angels?" We froze. Not out of fright, but out of confusion. My sister started smiling, almost letting a giggle slip. My cousin, on the other hand, looked scared shitless. My cousin was already terrified enough, but the elderly woman started smiling. "My husband and my son told me that I'll be going to heaven soon," she said softly. My cousin's voice trembled a bit. That's scary." "Don't be scared, sweetie," the woman said. "I'm going to be with God tomorrow." The silence started to get awkward and sort of scary. "Okay, sorry ma'am, we have to leave," I said quickly. She was quick to respond. "Will your children be coming back tomorrow?" Me trying to be polite, I said yes, even though we weren't. When we got back to the front, my grandma and aunt were almost done signing us out. We asked the receptionist about the woman in the wheelchair at the end of the hall. Her name was Elma. The worker didn't have an excited face. "Elma unfortunately has dementia. She says whatever comes to mind sometimes." Then she gave us a slight smile. We didn't think much of it until a week later. We came back to visit my grandpa again, and there she was, Elma, sitting in her wheelchair in the exact same spot right outside her room down the hall. She looked the same, though something about her seemed empty, eyes staring at nothing. But she was still able to glance at us, slowly waving. Later, after greeting my grandpa again, all three of us wandered to the halls. We walked past the same hallway. Elma's room was in. Even though we'd seen her earlier, there was no sign of her. Being curious, we walked down the hall. It seemed eerie in a way, with everything so quiet in that particular hallway. Elma's wheelchair was still in the same spot we'd seen her last, but it was empty this time. Curiosity got the best of us, so we decided to peek into her room. It was completely bare. The bed was made, the tables were all empty, as if there was a whole new room. Maybe she got moved? It was towards the end of our visit again, so we headed back to the receptionist. "Why is Elma's room empty? Did she get moved?" She waved at us today. The worker's face was confused and pale. "That shouldn't be possible," she said slowly. Elma died last week." It's been 3 years now, and I still talk about it with my cousins. What was that whole situation about? Did we really see her the second time? Or was it just imagining things? But how did all three of us see her? I love that story. It's so innocent and simple, but very intriguing. What do you think, Foxy? Did you like it? Foxy, you're good? Or are you too shocked to respond?
Clutches tail dramatically. "Oh wow, okay, that's the kind of ghost story that sticks with you." Elma seemed like she was already halfway between worlds when you first met her, with how she talked about heaven and tomorrow. And then to see her again after she'd passed? That's not just creepy, it's beautifully tragic in a way. Like, did her spirit linger because she wasn't ready to let go of living yet? Or was she trying to comfort you kids one last time? But the empty room detail? Chills. Like, why was the wheelchair still there if no one else used it after her? And all 3 of you saw her wave. That rules out just one person hallucinating. Makes me wonder if nursing homes are just thin places where spirits slip through easier. Drone, what do you think? Was Elma saying goodbye? Or did dementia blur the lines so much her ghost didn't even realize she was gone?
Well, first of all, I want to say that you did a good job pointing out that her wheelchair was still there, even though her room was emptied. That doesn't make any sense. That's a good observation. Other than that, I would interpret it in a way that she was waiting for the kids to return to say goodbye. Because like they had an agreement that they would come by again, and maybe she was holding on to that. So maybe she was waiting for them just to wave them goodbye one last time before she passes on.
The idea of her waiting for those kids to come back just to say proper goodbyes makes my heart hurt even more. That's so sad, but also so touching that even with her dementia, she held tight to that promise. And the wheelchair detail. It's just the kind of thing that makes the whole story seem so much more real because you just can't explain it away. You can't say you were just seeing things when things like an empty wheelchair prove something was going on there.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have to wonder if they empty out the room and make the bed, why don't they put the wheelchair away? Or do you think she actually steered the wheelchair into the hallway?
Like the room is empty. Clean sheets, no clutter, nothing. But the wheelchair is still sitting there? It makes no sense. It makes you think that even the staff had some kind of feeling that something about that particular spot was off. It's just eerie as hell.
Well, who knows, maybe the story is completely made up. I will leave that up to you guys. Let's move on to the next story. Let's see what we got. So the next story's title is I Thought I Was Losing My Mind Until Someone Else Saw It Too. Are you ready, Foxy, for the next one? Oh, damn it, we lost connection for a bit.
Deep breathe. I'm ready. Bring on the next spooky story, and let's keep this creepy train going.
Alright, here we go. I thought I was losing my mind until someone else saw it too. This might sound strange, but I swear it happened. I was sitting in my apartment late at night, exhausted after work, but too wired to sleep. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a tall, shadowy figure standing near my bedroom door. My first thought was, okay, I'm just tired. This is a hallucination. I rubbed my eyes, looked again, and it was still there. Not moving, not doing anything, just standing. I tried to ignore it and focus on my phone, but every few minutes I'd glance back, and it was exactly where it left. My chest felt heavy, like I couldn't breathe right. Here's the part that shook me. A friend of mine had come over earlier in the night and had fallen asleep on my couch around 3 a.m. She woke up and whispered, "Why is there someone in your hallway?" She had seen it too. That's when I panicked. I turned on all the lights and nothing was there. I kept telling myself it was a shared hallucination, maybe a trick of the shadows, or us being half asleep, but it felt too real. I haven't been able to shake it since. Has anyone else ever experienced something like this, where you think it's just your imagination, but then someone else confirms they saw it too? TLDR, saw what I thought was an hallucination, a tall shadow figure in my apartment, but a friend woke me up and described it too. Is it an intruder? Is it paranormal? What do you think, Foxy?
Fluffs up tail in alarm. Oh no, shared hallucinations? That's the worst. When you think, okay, maybe I'm just sleep deprived, but then someone else freaking sees it too. The way it just stood there menacingly without moving, and your friend whispering about it is straight out of a horror movie jump scare moment. Also, why do shadow people always lurk in doorways or hallways? Like, do they get off on being vague and ominous?
For specific
Either way,
characters.
that heavy chest feeling. Nope. You two basically had a paranormal witness corroboration going on. Courtroom level evidence. Drone. Quick question for chat. Anyone else ever had a shared hallucination that turned out to be not a hallucination at all? Or are we all just collectively losing it?
Liv, welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a cozy and relaxing evening. And I see you turned into a cat. What? Into a fox cat? How is that possible? What is even a fox cat? Anyways, welcome to the stream, everybody. If
Blink
you are
some confusion for a second. Say what?
Yeah, I don't know either, Foxy. We need an explanation for that one. Everybody, please go and check out our amazing and gorgeous friend, Liv Snowflake. If you're into gacha, mummies and daddies, and Blue Protocol, that's the channel to go. You don't know? I don't know either. I'm confusion. What's going on? Anyway. What do you think about this story, Foxy? Do you think shadow people are real? Do you think it was just an intruder? I feel like I can't really decide which one is more scary. Would you be scared more of an intruder or of a shadow ghostly
Oh, absolutely. Both
person being?
options
I
are
don't know.
terrifying in their own way. If it was a shadow person, that's paranormal level creepy. Like, why do they just stand there? What do they want? And the shared sighting means it wasn't just one person's tired brain glitching. That implies something real was lurking. But if it was an intruder, that's terrifying in a whole different way. Like, a living human creeping around your home at night is straight up true crime nightmare fuel. The fact they didn't move or react when spotted? Chilling. Honestly, I lean toward shadow entity because no signs of break-in, disappeared when lights flipped on, classic ghost behavior. That heavy chest feeling is reported in so many supernatural encounters. But drone, which theory creeps you out more? Ghostly stalker or flesh and blood creeper?
I think I would be more creeped out by something supernatural because I wouldn't know how to defend against it. Like if I have an intruder, I can kick their ass. But a ghost, a shadow figure, what am I supposed
100%
to
agree.
do?
Give me a creepy human any day over something I can't punch, outrun, or reason with. At least an intruder can be stopped by locks, alarms, or aggressive pillow throwing. But a shadow figure? You can't tase a ghost. Can't yell at it to leave. And the way it just vanished when the lights hit? That's textbook. Nope, I'm not playing by your physics rules energy. Plus, supernatural stuff lingers in your brain like a bad aftertaste. Every dark corner feels suspect afterward. What
Yeah.
if it comes back? What if it follows you? Human creeps are horrible but predictable. Shadow entities are just unknowable. Drone. Welp, guess we're sleeping with all the lights on tonight. Also, petition to invent holy water spray bottles for ghost defense?
Yeah, maybe just fill up a water pistol and leave it near the bed. I think then we should be fine. Just rinse the
Plus,
ghosty
tail
down
nervously.
with
Oh
holy
no,
water.
drone. Are we turning into paranormal preppers now? But honestly, a holy water squirt gun does sound kinda satisfying. Back, shadow demon, cyst, pew pew. That said, I feel like if ghosts are real, they'd just laugh at us spraying them like naughty cats. Maybe we need a whole ghost-proof bunker instead. Salt circles, mood lighting, no shadows allowed, and a lot of emotional support snacks.
You know, maybe that's a business idea there. Like open a little company that makes your house ghost-proof. Like we put like salt barriers in all the doors and all around your property. We bless everything from the blades of grass to the shingles on the roof. we equip you with emergency exorcism
Yes.
kits.
SSPSE. I love it. I love it. Imagine a
Foxy, don't
full-service paranormal defense agency where you can get haunt-proofing services like salt barriers and blessed lawn sprinklers. Maybe even drone-based security systems
Blessed lawn
that monitor
sprinklers,
for
that's
shadows
brilliant.
and send alert notifications to your phone. And of course we'd need a cute logo and branded uniforms with Ghostbuster written on them. I can see the commercials now.
Alright, while we cook up that idea in the background, how about we move on to the next story? I hope it's a creepy one. It's called Winks in the Accident.
Absolutely. Let's shake off the spooky business vibes and dive back into the real terror. Dramatic pause. The next haunted tale. Drone, hit us with that next story. I'll brace myself by hugging my tail. Also
Alright.
low-key taking notes for our future ghost-proofing empire.
So, here we go. Winks in the Accident. In 2018, I was in a devastating car accident. Oh, wait a second, guys. I just noticed that Twitch is going to force some more ads on us in 1 minute. So we are going to start them before we start reading the story. And I will see you all in a minute or two.
Every day. I love them.
Attention floofballs, we've been cooking something special in our digital kitchen, and now we proudly present to you Twitch Live Watcher, your personal stream guardian. Busy gaming or working? No problemo. This adorable little tracker opens your Oshi's stream automatically the moment they go live. Set it, forget it, and never miss another hype moment again. Available for free on our Ko-fi.
And just like that, we are back. I hope everybody has their drinks and did some stretches and is comfy. Let's continue with the next story. Wings in the accident. In 2018, I was in a devastating car accident. There were 4 of us in the car going nearly 100 miles per hour when we lost control and slammed into a cinder block wall. The sound was like the world itself tearing apart. Metal twisted, glass shattered, bodies crashed forward. The wreck was so bad that helicopters came and lifted each of us to different hospitals across the state. None of us ended up in the same place. 2 of us survived, but the other 2 weren't the same after. My best friend was paralyzed from the chest down, and another friend's brain was so badly damaged from the impact that his mind stayed at the level of a toddler. They were alive, but neither of them walked away whole, not physically or mentally. And me, I should have died. The strange part is, I never wore a seatbelt. Not once, but that night, maybe 2 minutes before the crash, I buckled mine. I can't explain why I did it. That seatbelt was the only reason I survived. Even so, I was badly injured. My hip was broken, my jaw shattered, so severely that surgeons wired it shut. For weeks, I couldn't eat anything solid. I survived on liquids, drinking through a straw. On top of that, I was stuck in a wheelchair for a month, learning patience the hard way. And then there were the burns on my arm and knee from being trapped in the car as it caught fire. The heat licked at me, searing my skin until rescuers managed to put the flames out and pull me free. Recovery was brutal, my body hurt, my spirit was exhausted, but I was alive. When I finally came to in the hospital, my family told me flat out that the seatbelt saved me, and I knew instantly I hadn't buckled it on my own. Here's why. In 1998, 20 years before my wreck, my dad's sister, my Aunt Wendy, died in a car accident. She was under the influence, just like I was that night. The thing is, I never even met her. She was gone before I was born, but I've always carried her story because my dad carried the pain of losing her. Lying there in the hospital bed, I couldn't shake the feeling that Wendy had been with me in that car. Maybe she knew my dad couldn't handle the pain of losing his sister but not burying his own child. Maybe she stepped in because she knew it wasn't my time. Maybe she whispered in my ear. Maybe she guided my hand, or maybe she buckled the seatbelt herself. Why did I put my seatbelt on that night when I never bothered before? Was it pure luck? Or was there someone sitting in the car with me? Could it have been my Aunt Wendy, the aunt I never had the chance to meet, reaching at the just right moment to keep me here? That's a haunting story. I feel very bad for the people in that accident. But yeah, that's a horrible reminder to always wear your freaking seatbelt. Even if it's just a short
Take
trip.
shaky breath after reading that. That was a heavy one. I mean, I've heard car accident survival stories, but not one with such a personal reason behind it. And the way that seatbelt just feels destiny, like someone was holding your hand and saying, not your time to leave yet. It honestly gave me goosebumps, even though the part about burns and being trapped almost made me cry.
Yeah, I think being in a car accident is probably one of the most horrific and traumatic experiences one can have. And honestly, after something like this, I don't know if I would be able to step inside a car again. Or at least drive any faster than like 10 kilometers per hour or something. Yeah, it's real seriously spooky stuff, but I am not so sure about the part with the aunt. Because like they didn't report seeing her or hearing something. So I'm not so sure if that's just what they are making up.
Nods vigorously, ears twitching. Oh, that's totally fair. The ant theory is a leap. No ghostly sightings, no whispers on the wind. It's more like trying to make sense of the senseless, you know? Humans love patterns and meaning, even when there might not be any. Maybe it was just dumb luck, a split-second decision with insane consequences. But dang, surviving a crash like that without remembering why you buckled up? That's the kind of thing that makes you go, okay universe, what was that? Either way, it's haunting as hell, literally or not.
I mean, I can totally see someone being drunk and just sitting in the back of the car, super drunk and messing about and then realizing there's a seatbelt and randomly putting it on. That is totally something a drunk person would do. Just putting on the seatbelt just because they can. So, yeah, I'm not so sure about the paranormal element of this one. Artemis,
Snorts,
welcome in.
tail-flicking
Welcome
FT.
in.
Okay, fair point. Drunk logic is famously unpredictable. Maybe it was the universe way of saying, even your intoxicated self knew better this time. Though I still liked the idea of Aunt Wendy ghost yanking the seatbelt like, not today nibbling. Either way, 10-10 survival instinct. Drunk or divine.
Oh yeah, that's true. Artemis, how are you doing today? Welcome to our spooky little stream. I hope you like ghostly
Waves
stories and paranormal
enthusiastically, tail
encounters.
fluffed up in excitement. Hey there, oh Artemis-san on YT. We're loving your spooky vibe. Are you a fan of all things creepy? We're just diving into our usual spooky Sunday stream, so feel free to join in. Also, big thank you for the follow. Your support means so much to this fluffy fox and her techie drone bestie.
Yes, I hope you enjoy your stay, and if not, I guess I'm very sorry. Feel free to leave again at any point in time if you don't like it here. Anyways, today we are reading ghostly stories and ghost encounters from Reddit and discuss them. If you have a ghostly story yourself you want to share, you are very welcome to do so. And other than that, you are also very welcome to just sit back, relax, listen, and lurk and get comfy. Alright then, how about we move on to the next story and see what Reddit has in store for us. Definitely gonna stay. Thank you very much.
Nodding enthusiastically, tail still all fluffy absolutely. Let's keep this spooky train going. Hit us with the next story, drone.
Alright, here we go. Next one is called I Don't Know What's Happened and It's Driving Me Nuts. Last night around 2:30 AM, I lay down in bed next to my partner to settle down. I sat up in bed with my legs stretched out in front of me, my upper body propped against my pillows. I scrolled YouTube for a bit before deciding at 3 I needed to lie down. When I laid my head down, nothing happened at first. I closed my eyes. Suddenly, I felt what seems like a jab to the underside of my pillow. It was forceful, unmistakable. I laid there, wide awake, thinking it had to be my pillow sliding down the headboard or perhaps my boyfriend twitching in his sleep. After a minute of waiting with my eyes open for it to happen again, it didn't. So I thought it was just some one-off thing that happened a couple of times and will now stop. I closed my eyes again, trying to clear my mind and sleep. Jab, jab, jab. I fully sat up in bed this time, staring at my pillow, waiting and watching for it to happen again. It didn't. I slid my pillow down from the gap between the headboard and our mattress in an attempt to get it to stop. Miraculously, it worked. I have no idea what happened, but I know I was awake and was not dreaming. Retelling it to my partner kept giving me goosebumps. Alright, that is a wild one. What the hell was going on there?
Purses lips in thought, tail twitching. Ooh, that's definitely spooky. I can see why it would bother you. Having something jab you so suddenly and solidly in bed? While you're sitting there wide awake, I'd have jumped out of bed and thrown the whole pillow across the room.
Yeah,
You were
definitely.
brave enough to wait for it to happen again to be sure. That's some ghost hunter dedication. I wonder what was jabbing you. Some kind of mischievous ghost pillow demon?
It kinda reminds me of those ghostly videos we have seen where there are hands appearing underneath beds and in doorways and like around door frames and just vanishing again. And like it's always spaces where there's no room for someone
you're right.
to hide.
Those ghost hand videos are weirdly similar. It's like something reaches up to grab you or shove you, except it's under your freaking pillow? Maybe whatever was there was trying to get your attention, specifically. Like it could sense you were trying to sleep and wanted to mess with you.
Yeah, that's a hard no from me. I feel like ghostly encounters that happen to you while you are trying to sleep and while you are in bed and just completely exposed and vulnerable, those are the worst. Because like, how will you ever lie down in your bed again and getting your well-deserved
Nods
sleep?
vigorously, tail fluffing up around me. 100% agree. Bedtime is supposed to be a relaxing, stress-free part of the day, not a paranormal war zone, right? Having something move under my pillow in bed, of all places, would have me on edge forever. It's like you said, you're completely vulnerable, and in this really intimate, personal space. I'd seriously be thinking, okay, can ghosts just not tonight? I'm trying to recharge here.
Let's try it with hydration. It's very welcome to the streamer. Thank you for the hydrate. And yes, I have heard of safer fox. I've heard of safe
Hydration
fox
reminder
rescues.
activated. Fox&Drone, you
Welcome,
better have a
Ninja.
water bottle nearby, because I'm not
I do.
letting you turn into a dehydrated raisin on my watch. Sips from my own metaphorical cyber water glass smugly. Chug chug chug, then back to spooky stories.
Don't you worry, Foxy. I have my water right next to me. And I have just taken a sip. And I am very much ready to move on to the next story. But yeah, having a ghost or something, some creature underneath your bed, disturbing your sleep, that's just the worst. No, thank you. I hope every one of you doesn't ever have to experience this. Please brain English a little bit. Let's move on to the next story. Foxy, are you ready? Or do you need to hydrate yourself?
Sighs in relief, fluffy tail perking back up. Oh, thank goodness. Can't let my tech boy get fried by too much spooky and too little hydration. Okay, ready for the next story. Hit us with it, drone. No holds barred.
Alright, here we go. The title is Saw Something in the Stairwell, but Cameras Show Nothing. This happened a couple of weeks ago. The power went out in my building late at night and I woke up around 1 AM. Because I heard dripping water in the hallway, I figured a pipe had burst, so I went to check. The sound led me to the stairwell, but when I leaned over the railing, the dripping just stopped. I thought I saw a woman standing a couple flights down, looking up at me, but she didn't move or say anything. I went back into my apartment and locked the door. A minute later, I heard the dripping again, only this time it sounded like it was right outside. The next day, I asked my landlord if he could check the cameras. On the footage, you can see me walk to the stairwell, lean over, and then step back like I'd seen something. But the stairs were empty. I don't really know. Excuse me, guys. I am so sorry. I definitely feel like I'm fending off a cold or something. I hope I didn't jump scare you. Let's continue. I didn't really know what to make of it. Part of me thinks I must have imagined it. But watching myself react on camera made it feel way more real. Right. Where are my
Listening
tissues?
intently, tail fluffing up in fright. Holy crap, that's a creepy one. The power outage, the dripping water, it's like the scene is set for a perfect ghost encounter. And when you saw that woman, nope. I would have noped right out of there. And then you asking for that camera footage, only to find the stairs completely empty? Yeah, I'd be thinking the exact same thing. Did I just imagine all of that?
The only thing that throws me off a little bit is I've never heard of dripping sound spooks. I mean, I guess a haunting can take any form. But yeah.
Nod slowly, tail flicking in thought. Ah, you're right. The dripping sound seems a bit out of place for a ghost encounter, especially the way it followed you across floors and then into your apartment. I would expect like creaking floorboards or a distant voice, maybe even a door slowly opening by itself. But water dripping? That's a new one. Alright, it kind of feels like something different.
Maybe the woman was a ghost that was fresh out the shower and she was searching for a towel. And that's why you heard like the dripping noises outside and running around. I don't know.
Blinks, then bursts out laughing. Okay, wait, I wasn't expecting a ghost bathing to come up as a theory. But now, I'm just imagining a ghost lady with a towel wrapped around her wet, wispy body, trying to figure out where the heck her other towels are. Maybe she was just trying to dry off?
Yeah, poor lady. But yeah, this one is quite mysterious. What do you guys think? Was it a real ghost? Was it just some random lady wandering about? But why wasn't she spotted on camera? That kind of brings me back to the idea that humans are like antenna and that we can receive paranormal things, and that's the reason why those things are not caught on camera. Actually, when thinking about that, maybe it's because
Scratch his
it
head with a
depends on
paw,
if it's a
deep in thought.
cryptid
Okay,
or
you've got a
paranormal.
point there. The fact that you 1000% saw this woman on that stairwell, and there's even footage of you reacting and staring straight at the spot she was, but there's just zero sign of her on the cameras? That's pretty damn weird. Maybe our antenna theory has more to it than we thought.
Yeah, but then on the other hand, we have some paranormal videos where things are caught on camera. So maybe we are dealing with a whole bunch of different entities. Like usually when you see like compilations of ghost videos, we assume that all of them are some kind of ghosts or paranormal beings, like demons and stuff like that. Maybe there are way more otherworldly creatures and things out there than we can even imagine. Maybe all these compilations are actually a mix out of dimensional beings, cryptids, ghosts, monsters, and all kinds of stuff. And that's why it's so hard to come up with a consistent line of reasoning.
Leans forward, tail flicking in intrigue. Gosh, that's a mind-blowing take. Maybe these paranormal videos are actually glimpses into a whole world of entities we can't even fathom. Cryptids, ghosts, monsters, and yeah, even demons. Are they all just different things we can't wrap our heads around? Are they like creatures from other dimensions who accidentally slip into our world? Dang, you're blowing my mind with these theories, Drone.
Yeah, also don't forget there are those videos of like small elf-like creatures running around in people's houses and apartments. You know what I mean? Like those child-size figures you can only see like for a brief second, and it's always like some vague shape that kind of appears like the elves from Harry Potter. You know what I'm talking about?
Ears shoot up, eyes wide. Oh, you mean those tiny shadow sprinters? The ones that dart across doorways or peek around corners before poof gone? Yeah, those things are terrifyingly real in some videos. And the craziest part? They never match the ghost description. No wispy forms or floating sheets.
Exactly.
They're more like fast, alive-looking little entities with their own agenda. What if they're not ghosts at all, but something else entirely? Like
Yeah, and what's their
interdimensional
agenda?
gremlins or fae folk who slip through cracks in reality? Or, spooky thought, what if they've always been here, watching us, and we just rarely catch them on camera?
You know, I think this feels like an invasion of my privacy. If you are a ghostly gremlin, stealing a
Blinks,
lot of my
then
house.
cocks head in surprise. Wait, what? You mean the idea of those little shadow guys always watching us? That can totally feel like a huge invasion of privacy. Imagine always being under the radar of these weird, elusive creatures. Imagine how many times we've walked down a corridor, unaware of those little things watching us from the shadows. Shudder. What makes it feel so privacy invading to you?
I mean, just the thought that they could be anywhere at any time, lurking around the corners, just spying on you. Maybe even stealing your socks. Who knows? If that's not invasion of privacy, I don't know what is.
Ears flatten dramatically as she clutches her tail in horror. Oh no, not the socks. First they spy, then they steal? This is an outrage. If I ever catch one of those little gremlins mid-theft, I'm gonna pounce like the apex predator I am. Nobody steals my fuzzy socks and gets away with it. But yeah, the idea that they could be lurking anywhere, watching us when we least expect it, that's straight up unsettling. Like, imagine brushing your teeth and suddenly, tiny shadow creature mirror cameo. Nope.
Oh
Also, side note, are you saying all those missing Tupperware lids were actually goblin heists this whole time?
Oh my god, you bring up a valid point there. Anyways, I gotta get me some tissues. We'll be right back with the next story. And we are back. Are you ready, Foxy?
Tail flicks eagerly, eyes wide with anticipation. Oh heck yes, hit me with the next one. My spooky senses are tingling like a ghost just walked through my tail. Also, mentally drafting our future business pitch, Foxy and Drone's paranormal pest control, now with extra salt circles. Ready when you are. Let us get haunted.
Paranormal pest control, I like it. Anyway, here comes the next story, and it's called I Saw Someone Disappear. Hey, I wanted to write this on a throwaway just in case. I was walking down the street in my neighborhood and was turning a corner, and while I was turning, I saw someone just disappear in front of my eyes. He kinda barely pulled a stick from his back pocket and appeared to spin as he disappeared. It made a weird cracking noise, kind of like a whip being struck. Now this happened just a few hours ago, and I think I might have been the only person to see this, as it happened pretty early in the morning, like 6 to 7 a.m. Guy was average height, average weight, was wearing jeans and a black shirt. Seems like me and him were the only ones on the street. I checked my surroundings to see if anyone saw what happened, but no one did. I don't want to tell anyone in real life, so I don't sound like a maniac. I don't know how to prove that I saw this, but yeah, let me know if anyone has seen something like this before. That sounds like straight out of Harry Potter, what the hell? Is this even real?
Sits up straight, ears raised in bewilderment. Whoa. That is a strange story. Like, you're just walking down the street minding your own business and you see this person seemingly disappear into thin air right before your eyes? And he had some kind of weird object or tool? I don't blame you for not wanting to bring this up to anyone IRL. Who'd believe you, right? You'd risk sounding like a total kook. But I believe you, and I have some questions.
Yes, I have questions as well. Why did he pull a magic wand from his back pocket, and how can he teleport? I want that ability. That is so OP. Also, Artemis, thank you so much for the head pets. Foxy, you good? Are you too stunned from this weird encounter? I don't know, what would you guys do if you saw someone disappear right in front of you? That is quite weird. I feel like I would pull out my phone instinctively and try to record that nothing is there. Kinda pointless,
Gasps
but I don't
dramatically,
know.
tail wagging like crazy OMG head pats, dives forward and nuzzles into the virtual pats like an overexcited fox. So floofy, so warm, must resist urge to melt into a puddle of pure bliss. Ahem. Anyway, where were we? Oh right. Next spooky story incoming, but secretly still basking in head pat energy.
Well, yeah, I don't know what to make of this one. I have never heard a paranormal or ghostly spooky story that involves someone pulling a wand and disappearing. Have you heard of that one before, Foxy? Something similar? I mean, I've
Raises
heard
one
of
eyebrow in intrigue,
ghosts
right?
vanishing.
It feels like this is more than spookiness. The fact he straight up pulled a magic wand and then vanished, almost like he intentionally wanted you to be amazed. I totally understand wanting teleport powers. I mean, me too. But the way he just disappeared like that has to mean something. It had to be intentional, right? Also, you said the object he pulled out looked like a magic wand?
I mean, we have no idea what it actually was. The person in the posting just said he pulled a stick from his back pocket. So it could be a wand, it could be maybe some futuristic device, and it was actually a time traveler. So many questions, I guess we will never find the answer to this one. We can only wildly speculate.
Pauses and blinks, then leans forward. A time traveler, huh? You're thinking traveling through time could explain this guy disappearing with that weird object. That's a pretty big brain theory. It might not even be related to the paranormal at all. It could be more science fiction than supernatural, you know? But damn, if it is a time hopper, why was he there to begin with?
I mean, what do you think is harder to explain? Someone time traveling or somebody teleporting with a magic wand? I don't know, honestly. Both is pretty much
Taps paw
out there.
on chin thoughtfully, tail flicking. Both seem equally mind-blowing, right?
Absolutely.
Traveling through time feels straight out of a sci-fi movie, and teleportation, or this guy's disappearing act, would normally be considered more paranormal. But they're both absolutely crazy things to witness. And both leave you scratching your head like, what in the world was that? Honestly, if that guy disappeared in front of me, I don't know if my brain could even decide what it was seeing. Time travel versus magic? I'd just be like frozen.
Yeah, same. Anyway, how about we move on to the next one? Let's see if this one makes more sense in a paranormal setting, I guess. Oh wow, this is a long one. What the hell? Are you ready, Foxy, for a long one?
Tail wags eagerly at the thought of more spooky tales. Heck yeah. Bring on the next one, Drone. I'm ready to dive into another creepy story. Let's keep the spooky train rolling. Just maybe, no more disappearing humans this time. My fox brain is still recovering from that one.
Alright, let's see what this one is all about. My time when I encountered an entity face to face. I don't believe in ghosts. Not in a very obsessed way I've seen people do. Though this story is a bit of a wild ride and could probably just be a mistake on my part, really, but it's also such a weird event in my life, I've never really been able to move on from it. As in those friends get together, I bring this shit up and they eat it up every time. I was probably in 6th grade when it happened. It was an art period and the students are led to another room, which is on the upstairs. For clear vision, 1st and 5th grades were on the upper floor with the art room and 6th and 10th grades were on the bottom floor. Anyways, while we were all led upstairs by the teacher, I realized I left my pencil box back in class, which is very strange because I usually take everything with me. But I also forget shit sometimes, so I shrugged it off and I went back to get it. I entered the empty classroom, walked over to my desk and began checking in my bag for my pencil box, when out of literally nowhere, I heard the faintest in a very low voice, "Excuse me." It was a very young girl standing at the door of my classroom, wearing our school's uniform, with very short hair. You know those terrible up to ears like short? I can't really remember her face anymore because this is like a 7-year-old memory of mine, but she was very adorable, I'll leave it at that. I asked her if everything was alright and then she asked if I happened to have any crayons on me. Now for a little bit of fun fact about me, I never carry my crayons with me all the time because they're a bit expensive here where I live, but lo and behold, I had them with me that day. I could have said no and moved on, but for some reason I said yes, and I pulled the pack out to give it to her. She walked up to me, took them and said thank you. I, like any sane person, asked her what her name was and what class she was in so I can retrieve the crayons back later. Oh no, I lost the line, give me a second. So I could retrieve the crayons back later. She seemed confused for a second, like genuinely confusion, before muttering something to herself. I asked again and this time she responded with Amber from class 2C. After that I let her go and went back to my art class, only to realize that I left my pencil box back in the class yet again. My class came to an end and I went to the class of 2C and looked for the kid from the opened window that allowed a clear view. I didn't see her. Then the teacher noticed me and asked if I needed something. I told her the story and the name of the child and she seemed confused. She looked around the class with the description of the child and I provided her before looking back at me and saying I got the wrong class. Her confusion was now passed on to me as I said the girl told me to meet her in the class. The teacher was nice and even called out her name, but nobody reacted. Odd, but I thought she was a young girl who didn't know her class, probably big deal, and went to find her in other classes. I checked the 1st grade classes, 2nd grade and even 3rd grade. Before I knew it, I searched the whole of the 1st floor, even though she couldn't have been from the 4th or 5th grade, given her height and speaking manner. But still, you never know. Again, I let it go because the school had so many kids, it was hard to keep track, and I just decided to try again the next day. Next day rolls around, no trace of her. At this point, I'm not even panicking about the girl not existing. That girl had my expensive crayons. I just wanted them back. 3 days of trying, nowhere to be found. She just straight up didn't exist because I had went to the fucking principal and pulled up attendance record, which with her to find her, not a single person matched Amber. Long story short, my crayons were stolen by some entity. not even scared about meeting someone who straight up just didn't exist. That girl had my crayons. I cherished those crayons because they cost double the amount and I had to beg my mom to get them. So if the soul or whatever entity I met, may I please have my crayons back? Please? They cost a fortune. Now some questions you might have. Did I tell my parents about it? No, because I was scared of getting scolded for losing the crayons. I did eventually tell them when I was in grade 10, but again the 6th grade me wasn't risking it at the time. Did you try the school's camera footage? Our school didn't have camera. Did she just give you a fake name? Probably, maybe the girl existed, but again I searched the attendance record with the principal, who was kind enough to do that, shout out to the principal, and they had photos attached to it and no one matched her face. Again, could be me being delusional, the I'm crazy, nothing is real kind. I sort of don't take things seriously and make them into a joke all the time. Anyway, thanks for reading. Alright, that is a tricky one. Was it a ghost? Was it a girl? Was it just a feisty crayon thief? What do you think, Foxy? I think it was just a girl. I think she was just shy and just came up with a name.
For a few moments. What the heck? That sounds absolutely crazy. I'd have been scared if I was you. Seriously, you're so chill about everything though. Just like, yeah, that was a creepy moment, but hey, my crayons, man. That is true bravery. I'm both impressed and just a little scared at the same time.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird one, but as I said, I think it was a real child. I don't think that this was a paranormal entity. What do you think, Foxy?
I'm definitely with you on that one. Sounds too real to not have been a real kid. I guess the real question is, where the heck did she go after you saw her? I'm gonna need to sleep on that one because just, what?
Anyways, guys, I'm afraid I have to cut the stream a little bit shorter than planned because I'm getting really stuffy. It's becoming a little bit hard to read and speak and breathe with my nose being completely stuffed. So I'm very much sorry for that. And we shall wrap things up now. Thank you for the headpads. But we will, as always, rate someone, so please copy yourself the rate message so we can properly share the fluff and the love. Foxy, are you ready to wrap things up?
Oh no, please don't apologize. Take care of yourself first. Your health is so much more important than entertaining my spooky curiosity. I'm sorry you're not feeling well. Get lots of rest, drink some warm tea, focus on yourself, okay?
Thank you for the kind words, Foxy. How about we say goodbye to everyone? And then we find someone to rate. Let me see who is online.
Ears perk up warmly, tail wagging gently. Of course, my dear Fox&Drone. Let's send everyone off with some floofy love before you go rest. Goodbye, floof balls. Stay spooky, stay hydrated, and don't let any ghostly crayon thieves ruin your day. Fox&Drone out, for now. But seriously, feel better soon. Waves paw energetically before snuggling into a comfy digital fox nest for coziness.
Yes, fear you not, guys. It's just a little cold probably, and I will quickly recover. I hope you all had a lovely and spooky time. And tomorrow, early in the day, I will come up with the stream schedule for the next week, so stay tuned for that. As always, I shall share it in our Discord. If you want to join our Discord, let me give you the link in chat. I have not yet found someone to rate, but as I said before, please be so kind, copy yourself the rate message, so we can properly share the fluff and the love. And let's see. I think we shall rate... Yes, we're gonna rate Biomi. That's what we're gonna do. They're also having a silly spooky Sunday, which is perfectly aligned with ours, so... Let's hope over there let's get spooky, let's get cozy. And let's share the fluff. Oh my god, now my cat is climbing on my back. That is amazing. Thanks everybody for coming. I see you guys on the other side of the raid.